I read a piece by Charles Pierce, who writes for Esquire today, and he's talking about Tuesday um, and Trump going berserk with the country of Denmark. This fucker is really off the rails, but he has been since the day he was born. I don't think there has been a more miserable human being to crawl around in the shit and the piss than Donald Trump. But this is what Trump said last Tuesday. Denmark is a very special country with incredible people, but based on Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen's comments that she would have no interest in discussing the purchase of Greenland, I will be postponing our meeting scheduled in 2 weeks for another time. The Prime Minister was able to save a great deal of expense and effort for both the United States and Denmark by being so direct. I thank her for that and look forward to rescheduling sometime in the future. That was the original little nasty tweet from Trump. And Charles Pierce writes, I spent a half hour making sure that wasn't some kind of parody account. Surely the President of the United States wouldn't be so balls out, petulantly crazy as to cancel a state visit because a foreign government refused to sell him a portion of its own country? I didn't fully believe it until the BBC reported on it too. The BBC put it this way. The president was scheduled to visit on 2nd September at the invitation of Denmark's Queen Margrethe II. Then last week, Mr. Trump suggested the U.S. was interested in buying Greenland, an autonomous Danish territory. Danish PM Mette Frederiksen described the suggestion as absurd and said she hoped Mr. Trump was not being serious. End quote, BBC. No, not end quote. More from BBC. The suggestion was dismissed by Greenlandic and Danish officials. Said the territory's premier Kim Kielsen, quote, Greenland is not for sale, but Greenland is open for trade and cooperation with other countries, including the USA. Lars Rasmussen, the former Danish prime minister, tweeted, quote, it must be an April Fool's Day joke, end quote. Soren Espersen, foreign affairs spokesman for the populist Danish People's Party, told national broadcaster DR, quote, if he is truly contemplating this, then this is final proof that he has gone mad, end quote. And as Charles Pierce points out, this is the stuff of the Mad King. He says he wants to buy something, and he wants to buy some people. I mean, what the fuck did Trump think? That everybody who lives in Greenland would just leave? He's going to buy people. We used to do that in this country. It was called enslavement. We used to do that, you fucking idiot. But he wanted to buy a piece of somebody else's country and the people, which makes perfect sense to a racist piece of shit like Trump. But they're not for sale. And then he demands that Denmark take this bubbling insanity seriously. Don't call me absurd. And when they don't, Charles Pierce writes, he insults them by canceling a state visit. For a while on Tuesday night, I thought it was funny. Then I looked it up and realized that Denmark has been one hellaciously good ally. It lost 43 soldiers in Afghanistan, our little fucking nasty war there, before withdrawing its troops in 2013. Those 43 Danish deaths represent the highest per capita death rate of any member of the coalition, including the racist United States, Denmark. And this cocksucker insults them. And now Denmark declines to participate in the grandiose fantasy of an increasingly unmoored president, and it gets rewarded with the worst kind of diplomatic insult. Then this wasn't funny anymore. There is no bottom to this presidency. None at all. There is none. Quoting freely from Charles Pierce at Esquire, there is, not only is there no bottom to this monstrous son of a bitch, but he's going to continue to pull the United States into this deep, bottomless hole that this son of a bitch crawled out of until we stop it. Until we stop it. Legally and peacefully, of course. Yesterday, when Trump was standing on the sidewalk looking like somebody about to have a stroke, imprecatory prayer, nah, I don't believe that shit. He was yelling at reporters over the whirling blades or whatever, like he does. He was standing there for more than a half hour before he went for a speech and a fundraiser in Kentucky. And he told 11 lies in that short period of time. 2 of the lies were about Greenland. First, Obama and the Philippines. Trump said that he will not allow foreign countries to disrespect him. He said that things were different under Obama, who was treated, his words, so badly. And the Trump fuck cited an example. This is what he said. President Obama, when they wouldn't let him land in the Philippines. Obama was never prevented from landing in the Philippines. Rather, Obama called off a planned meeting with President Duterte after Duterte delivered a profane and insulting rant about him. Trump could have accurately said that Obama was treated disrespectfully by Duterte, but there is no basis for even a suggestion that Duterte canceled a meeting or wouldn't let him land in the Philippines. Greenland and Denmark. On his rejected proposal to acquire Greenland from Denmark, Trump said, quote, I think it is a good idea because Denmark is losing $700 million a year with it. It doesn't do them any good. Denmark's annual subsidy to Greenland is for less than $600 million, and they're not losing it. They're subsidizing the continuation of Greenland. According to a representative from Greenland's Ministry of Finance, Anders Fodesvek-Wolf, the grant for 2019 is expected to amount to 3.86 billion Danish kroner, which is about $500 million. The amount has increased slightly over the years. There's more. From $547 million in 2016 to so-and-so blah, 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 blah. The next lie about Greenland. Trump said that President Harry Truman wanted to buy Greenland from Denmark, which is true. But he also said, quote, President Truman said, what about Greenland? And he talked about it very openly. It was a big deal at the time, end quote. Truman was not open about his desire to purchase Greenland. As the Washington Post reported, Truman's offer in 1946 to Denmark, $100 million in gold, didn't become public knowledge until 1991, when a Copenhagen newspaper came across declassified documents in the National Archives. Oh, fuck. I can't go down this list of lies. I mean, it makes my head spin. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored, fun and frivolity.